Stop accepting breadcrumbs from your specific person. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. This is Priya, your manifestation coach. And in this video, we are going to take a look at how to stop accepting breadcrumbs from your specific person. But first, if you would like to get coached by me, I offer an online course, Manifest Your SP Mastery. This is where I show you step by step exactly how to manifest the version of your specific person that you desire. I also offer monthly membership coaching. This is where you can get live coaching with me on a weekly basis to really stay on top of your manifestation game. And finally, I also offer one-on-one coaching to help you manifest anything that your heart desires. You can get access to any of these offerings by simply clicking the link below in the description box. Okay, let's get back to this video. Stop accepting breadcrumbs from your specific person. So what do I mean by breadcrumbs? Well, recently I've been looking at the comments section, and a lot of you have been sharing about your circumstances, about things that is unacceptable, things that you don't like, yet you're still engaging with certain patterns in the 3D. So as an example, one of you was sharing that you are in contact with your specific person, but your specific person is treating you like shit. There is a third party, and sometimes they will come to you and want to spend time with you, but then they will go back to the third party and spend time with the third party. And this is really affecting you because you want commitment from your specific person, but you're just doing the inner work whilst tolerating this behavior in the 3D. Now, if you are somebody who is tolerating a behavior that makes you feel like shit, that triggers you, this is always a self-concept issue. Now, in the SP community, a lot of people will do this, and I see this a lot, where their specific person isn't yet the version that they desire, and their specific person is treating them like shit in their 3D reality. But the only reason why we tolerate being treated like shit in the 3D is because you don't yet know your value and worth. You don't yet have a self-concept that says, I am worthy, I'm good enough, I am lovable, I am the operant power of my reality. Because if you did, you wouldn't be tolerating behaviors that you find disrespectful. Instead, what you would do is you would remove yourself from the situation and focus on building up your self-concept, focus on changing your stories about your specific person. And the only version of your specific person that you would allow into your reality is the one that shows up correct, the one that shows up as your ideal version, and anything less you wouldn't put up with. Now, I want to make it clear that if you're somebody who is not triggered by the fact that your specific person is with a third party, then you don't need to remove yourself from the situation. If you're not triggered, there isn't a problem. And some people are not triggered because some people know that they're God of their reality, know that they are the I am consciousness, and so they might find it amusing or funny. And if that's you, this video isn't for you. This video is for you if you're somebody who feels triggered, if you're somebody who feels that you're being abused by your specific person. If you are somebody who feels very triggered, very disrespected by your specific person, you want to ask yourself, why am I tolerating this in my 3D reality? And people will make excuses. People will say, oh, no, I'm fine with it. I'm just going to do the inner work. But really what's happening there is that you have such a low self-concept that you're willing to take anything you can get from your specific person. You're so desperate. You're in that chasing energy where it's like, I'll take anything I can get. Oh my God, specific person is talking to me, although there's a third party, but specific person is talking to me and I really miss them. And this is a very unhealthy place to be, and it's valid if you are in that place, but you want to be aware that the only reason why you are tolerating this behavior is because you don't yet have a self-concept that says, I know my worth and my value, because if you did, you would not be engaging in this type of behavior. This does not mean that you're not going to get your specific person, because people think, well, if I remove myself from the situation and I don't allow my specific person to have access to me because they're disrespecting me in this way where there's a third party and they think it's fine to go back and forth between me and third party, people think, okay, well, if I move away from this, then I'm not going to get my specific person. This is absolutely not true. You want to understand that You are the operant power of your reality. And the more you focus on shifting your self-concept so that you know your value and your worth, and changing your stories about your specific person that imply your end, such as specific person only wants me and my specific person are in a happy, committed relationship, they will come back fully conformed. That is law. But in the meantime, in the 3D, you don't want to subject yourself to something that you find disrespectful that is not okay with you. And you want to be really honest about why you're doing it. And if you were really being honest with yourself, you would say, yeah, it's because I don't have a really high self-concept yet where I actually know my value and my worth. That's why I'm putting up with this breadcrumb treatment. I'm taking whatever I can get, whatever they'll give me, I'll just take anything. Because ultimately, the only person that you're hurting in the process is yourself. You're going to continue to react. You're going to continue to feel shit. You're going to continue to feel triggered. And somebody in the comment section was sharing how they stayed in this negative cycle for 2 years, where there was a third party, but they tolerated it in their 3D reality whilst working on their affirmations in their mind. They kept engaging with their specific person, but they would be really triggered about it, really upset about it. And it's like, why were you tolerating that for 2 years? Ultimately, you haven't changed if you are tolerating that. There's nobody else to change but self. And I'm talking about if you're triggered by it, if it's affecting you. If it's not affecting you, if you're not triggered by it, then there isn't a problem. But if you are triggered by it and it is affecting you, and this has been going on for 2 years, then you got to ask yourself, okay, what am I doing that is keeping me stuck in this reality, in the same reality that I don't want? And the answer is, if you're tolerating disrespectful behavior and you're engaging in it and you're playing with it, then you haven't changed. You're still the version of you that doesn't have a solid self-concept, that doesn't know your value and your worth, that doesn't know that you're the operant power of your reality. Because if you did, the way that you would move forward is you would let your SP know this isn't going to work for me. You would remove yourself from that situation. You would focus on cultivating a really high self-concept where you know your worth and value, that you always prioritize and chosen. You would focus on changing your stories about your specific person to my specific person only has eyes for me and my specific person are in a happy, loving, committed relationship. You would focus on that, knowing that when that becomes a dominant story you are telling, your specific person will show up in your reality, the ideal version that you want, and that you actually don't have to put up or engage with anything less. You don't have to tolerate anything less than your ideal version. So my message to you is, if you are accepting breadcrumbs in your 3D reality when it comes to your specific person, this is always an indicator that you want to work on solidifying your self-concept. Because when you get to the point where you know your value and your worth, you wouldn't tolerate your specific person keeping you there as an option. You would go all in with your inner work, knowing you're the operant power, and you would focus on that. And you would not engage with anything less in the 3D. In fact, when you engage with this type of behavior, when you tolerate this type of behavior and it's triggering you, but you keep engaging with it anyway, what you're telling your subconscious mind is, give me more of this, give me more of this, give me more things to react to with my specific person, give me more ways in which they can treat me like shit. Finally, what I will say is that when you remove yourself from toxic patterns with your SP to focus on your self-concept and your stories about them that imply your end, this is actually an act of self-love. When you keep yourself in a toxic pattern with your specific person, it's because you don't know your value and your worth. You don't love yourself enough to remove yourself from something that is clearly not okay with you. So if you're somebody who's accepting breadcrumbs right now when it comes to your specific person, you want to be really honest with yourself and ask yourself, why am I tolerating this in my 3D reality if I'm constantly feeling triggered about it? Be really honest with yourself about where you are, because only then Can you make the right adjustments that you need to make and the right shifts that you need to make in order to manifest the ideal version of your specific person that loves you, that adores you, that prioritizes you, and that only has eyes for you? That's it for this video. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening. Mwah.